And I can do my best to allow this experience to change me for the better, you know, and to be a wake-up call and to be something that helps me help more people. And if I can do this thing, you know, to the best of my ability, then I can make a really big impact because I'm going through this. And so that's the final thing I want to touch on with you guys is like, man, stay positive. But don't just stay stupid positive. You got to think about it. Like how, if I really worked at this and I wanted to have the absolute best outcome possible, what would that look like? This is officially day 1 of being on the chemo, the Pola R-CHOP. I woke up this morning at 4:30 and I took my first round of it's some type of nausea medicine. I can't think of what it's actually called right now, but it's some kind of nausea medicine. And my stomach hasn't really hurt. My body has felt a little weird, but I mean, I didn't get much sleep last night, so that might have something to do with it as well. Oh, my mic's falling down. I need to sit back a little bit so this won't fall. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel necessarily. It's like, I kind of feel like I got injected with something that is like gonna slow me down a little bit. But I'm also just really tired. These squirrels out here are crazy. So, yeah, I've been taking my anti-nausea medicine pretty regularly, pretty religiously, and my side effects of that are a little bit of indigestion, but nothing bad. I haven't even had to take the indigestion medicine they gave me, or even Tums or anything like that. During the treatment yesterday, I did not get sick. My throat swelled up. At one point, I had a slight reaction, but they just paused it, gave me some steroids and some Benadryl, and 20 minutes later, once my symptoms had stopped, they just went back right to it. So, yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. The first time that I woke up this morning at 4:45, I was sleeping with my feet elevated above my heart on my back. And when I got out of bed, I felt like I could feel the chemicals in my body. Like, it was weird. I felt like I had extra fluid in me. All my body parts felt weird. Like my body almost felt a little bit swollen in a way. Really strange feeling. But I was only awake for like literally 30 seconds to take my nausea medicine, then went straight back to sleep. My doctor has recommended that I take that medicine proactively instead of reactively, so I'm trying to stay ahead of the nausea for when it does come. I'm also still getting IV. I had an IV in yesterday that had a lot of strong anti-nausea medicine as well. So that's cool. Okay, I'm beating around the bush here. How the fuck do I feel? Right now, I feel like I haven't gotten much sleep. My body feels a little like just the slightest bit shaky. Like, I'm not even really shaky, but like I kind of feel like I don't really have an ache, but I'm just like, like I can tell they put something in me, you know, and I can tell they put some strong stuff in me. I woke up this morning, I took what I would consider dry photos, which is pictures. If you're in the fitness and bodybuilding world, you'll kind of know what that is, but you know, it's basically where you wake up, you use the restroom, and before you drink anything, you take photos. And you basically take front, side, back pictures. I'll throw those up on the screen here in just a second. And my reasoning for doing that is that I want to document how this affects my body. I want to measure my skeletal muscle mass. I want to measure my bone density. I don't know where I can get a DEXA scan done. I'm also going to measure my body fat percentage, which I think I'm showing at like 10 or 11% right now. I want to measure how this affects my body. I want to really measure how this changes me, and I also want to document very precisely what I'm doing on my end of things. Like, so what things do I have in my control, and that could have a potential positive effect on, you know, the way this treatment works for me, and can I potentially limit some of the side effects of these drugs that they're giving to me without hindering their ability to work properly in my body. That's a nice little caveat there. The answer is I have no idea. I really don't know. You know, I think what I do have going for me is I am going into this really healthy. You know, it wasn't even indicative that I had cancer for a long time, because I had a perfect blood work. You know, my white count was perfect, my red blood cells were perfect, my platelets were perfect, and usually those things are indicative. I wouldn't say usually, because I don't know that to be fact. I would say, based on some of the stories that I've heard of other people, a lot of other people at this point, who have had cancer, it's not normal to have normal white count, especially when you have cancer in your body in intermediate stages. So it's like, it's kind of a encouraging thing to be like, you know, I'm healthy right now. There's a chance that my side effects won't be that bad. And my doctor also, when she saw my blood work, she was like, this is kind of weird because you don't have indication of cancer in your blood. And you just don't see that very often, you know? And that's obviously not to brag. I'm just trying to give everybody a clear picture of where I am at, seriously, like just straight up real, you know? And I want to really try to give this attention and give this a lot of, I want to give this attention to detail. And so what's interesting is I've got a couple friends that are in the fitness industry that also have a background in, I wouldn't say Western medicine because it's not that, it's just nutrition. And a good buddy of mine who is a dietitian, he has recommended that I adhere to a strict nutrition and supplementation protocol throughout the duration of this. And one of the biggest reasons for that is he wants me to eliminate, not cut out, not limit, just straight up eliminate any inflammatory foods. And the biggest culprit of this is going to be sugar, obviously. I feel like almost everybody knows that by now, surely. But yeah, like no sugar, nothing that's going to be high on the glycemic index. I'm going to be eating very little carbs, actually, which I normally do anyways. I don't eat a whole lot of carbs. I already don't really eat very much processed foods, but I do fuck around and find out a little bit with that. I cheat on it, especially over the past, I'd say 3 or 4 months, like before I found out that I had cancer, I had really been just letting my diet go. And it's funny that, you know, this cancer could have been slowly progressing in me for a long time, and my diet could have been stopping its growth because I just wasn't eating enough sugar. And then as soon as I got into a scenario where I was a little bit stressed out and I was eating emotionally, I was binge eating, you know, I was eating a lot of candy, just whatever the fuck I wanted to. As soon as I got into a scenario like that, that's when this cancer really starts to get inflamed and show up in me and just spread, you know. So, which the time of from my first initial doctor visit with having concerns with this to my first diagnosis, the timeline on that was approximately 3 months. And for the first 2 months of that, I was probably drinking more than I should have been, and I was probably eating more sugar and just more carbs and just more, not enough protein, just not a good diet. Anyways, all of that to say, I know I'm really rambling here, but all of that to say, I have, what was I going? Yeah, my nutrition and my nutrition and supplementation protocol. I'm gonna probably create a whole video on what this is going to be for me, and kind of already is. I've already started doing this about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. But just to give you a rundown, the bullet points are, my aim with this, my intention with this is to eliminate processed foods. And I want to improve the body's function. If I can improve the body's function, that's only going to help me heal better. So I'm really limiting my carb intake. I am increasing, I'm not really increasing my protein, but I already was on a high protein diet. I don't know exactly how many carbs, or exactly how many grams of protein, but I will make a video going more in detail on that. Oh, I'm gonna adhere to a pretty strict diet, but I'm not tracking my food, man. I'm just being smart with it, you know. And you can do that, and you can be okay. So, anyways, yeah, I'm limiting my carb intake quite a bit. Any carbs I do eat, it's gonna be real foods, single ingredient foods. So primarily, most of my carbs are going to come from a form of dark-skinned fruit, such as blueberries, blackberries, plums, dark grapes, black grapes, even watermelon. And the reason for that is those foods are very high in antioxidants. And I don't know about other forms of cancer, but I know that for the lymphoma, since it is primarily in the sorry, my nose is like running. Since it's primarily in the lymphatic system, it starts in the lymphatic system, then I need to first prioritize improving the function of the lymphatic system. And one of the top foods that you can eat for that is going to be anything that is very, very high in antioxidants. And those dark-skinned fruits are exactly what I'm looking for. I might be canceling it out for myself though, because I haven't been buying organic, and I just realized, like, crap, like I learned so much about pesticides the other day and how bad they are that I was like, I'm gonna have to start buying organic. This might be why I have cancer. So anyways, long story, I might make another video on that. Dude, they put Agent Orange on our fucking food. That is insane. If you don't know what Agent Orange is, just Google what Agent Orange in the Vietnam War was used for, and you'll get a good feeling about what you eat with pesticides on it. Anyways, like my brain is so ADHD. So this is officially day one. This is officially day one of having chemo, the Pola RCHP regimen in me to help treat my large diffuse B-cell lymphoma. Wait, diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. I don't know. It's the most common in America. It ain't gonna be that bad. It'd be all right. So my nutrition is going to be focused on increasing my aim with nutrition and with I can't talk right now. I just woke up. So my aim with this nutrition protocol, again, my aim with this nutrition protocol and this supplementation protocol is to improve my bodily functions, primarily my lymphatic system. And if I can do that, I know I'm going to give myself the best chance of being able to deal with this cancer and just help it get gone, you know. Some bullet points for nutrition is that I want to stay away from sugar. I want to stay away from refined white flours. I want to stay away from anything that is a highly processed carbohydrate. I also want to stay away from seed oils, and I want to stay away from certain types of dairy. Although I've seen less of a reaction in my body from dairies than I have other sources of food that can typically be inflammatory foods. The big three inflammatory foods are generally processed sugars, refined white flours, and full-fat dairies, just for anybody that's curious. Although for me right now, I'm currently eating full-fat dairies with very minimal side effects. Well, that might be why I got cancer. You never know. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so that's kind of, yeah. I'm avoiding highly inflammatory foods. I'm increasing my intake of, antioxidant-rich foods. And I'm primarily doing that through dark-skinned fruits, blueberries, blackberries, black grapes, plums. Plums are the dark ones, I think. I think that's what those are called. And that's where most of my carbs are coming from right now. I'm taking, as far as supplementation goes, I'm taking 1 to 2 protein shakes a day. And in my first protein shake, I'm putting a prebiotic in there to help feed the good bacteria that I need in my gut. Because that's something that can happen when you're on a chemo regimen like I'm on, is it can just wipe out the good bacteria in your gut completely. I am, based on my limited understanding at least, and along with that protein shake, because if you take a lot of vitamins at once, it can make you feel like shit. It can make you pretty sick. But so along with that shake, with the prebiotic, I'm taking a list of vitamins and nutrients along with that. Included in that specifically is a probiotic, a pretty strong probiotic, and something called nettle root. Nettle root has been shown to improve the lymphatic system and oftentimes have some pretty miraculous results with people's lymphatic system, people who have all kinds of problems, not just lymphoma. So that is a good supplement that my dietitian recommended to me to take for all of to take for the what's it called here, mate? The fucking thing, I need your help here, mate. I need someone to like call it out for me. The bodily function of the lymphatic system. That's what I'm trying to say. Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna cuss way too much in these videos. But yeah, I've got a list of supplements and I'll go over in a separate video. I'm gonna talk about the supplements that I'm taking throughout this process. But my aim with the supplementation specifically is that there are nutrient deposits in your body that will get wiped out from chemo. I mean, it's not even a joke. So what happens with most people who are on chemo is that they're eating, nobody at the doctor, nobody at the hospital tells you about this stuff, by the way. You are eating more than likely, if you're an average American, a highly inflammatory diet that is causing all of the symptoms that you have to be 10 times as bad. And then on top of that, as this, well, you're probably already nutrient depleted because you're just not consuming enough of any of the right nutrients through your food or through, checking to see if my mom came out here again, through your food or through your supplementation. And so, dude, your body is just set up for failure as far as how you're gonna feel throughout this process. And I'm saying that now, I'm on day one. I could totally be eating my words 3 days from now or 2 days from now, and I could be sick as a dog. I mean, everybody just responds differently. But what I'm trying to find out with this process is if there's a reason that people respond differently. And I've got a hunch that the reason my white count is already so good and the reason that my blood count is good is because over the past 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I have aggressively cut out anything that is inflammatory in my diet, and I have increased all of my nutrient deposits that my body needs. So I've been prepping for this for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm going to continue that regimen. So I'm not going to get into all of the details of the exact recipes that I'm cooking right now, or my macros, because, well, I'm not tracking macros right now, but I'm not going to get into the exact supplements. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick update on what is going on in my world, and yeah, man, this has just been a really humbling journey overall, and I think that I'm more shocked by how ill prepared most of these cancer patients actually are whenever they're going into their treatments, because they just don't know. No, I mean, if you ask about like what types of food you should and shouldn't be eating, most people will generally tell you that cancer feeds on sugar. It's a pretty well-known fact at this point, but there's a lot to it, and I am not a registered dietitian or a nutritionist by any means. I would consider myself a nutritionist, I guess, but I'm not a certified nutritionist. I used to own a meal prep company, and I had, me and my ex had a pretty substantial business helping people get healthy through their food, and so that's something I'm already passionate about, and I feel like it's weird that I've like gone through all of that, and now I'm facing this big change event, as I would call it, in my life, which is getting diagnosed with cancer. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but man, I've set myself up to be in a position where I think I'm gonna have a really good, solid recovery from this thing, even though it's in intermediate stages, which I don't really know what that means. That's just I don't know what stage my cancer is in or anything like that. Didn't ask, don't care. But I am considered to be in intermediate stages because it has spread to other parts of my body, AKA my chest, from my neck to my chest, or maybe vice versa, I don't know. And Like yeah. My training has been good. I have good bone density. I have good skeletal muscle mass. I have good blood work. I have all the nutrition and the supplementation and the training and the psychology on my side. And I feel really good about it, honestly. I feel great about my chances. And so I just want to be able to share some of that hope and some of that light with other people that maybe don't feel that confidently. And that's the last thing I'll touch on real quick is the psychology side of things. Like, I know that this experience is going to be traumatic and it's going to change me, right? But if I focus on, but I know that if I focus on the things that I can control, that can make a real impact on the outcome of this. And I'm not talking about just food and supplements. I'm talking about I can make those nurses smile. I can make my doctor smile. I can make everybody else in there, in that building, have a better day and a better attitude because of me being there. That's something that is in my control. My hand's getting shaky because it's tired. And I can do my best to allow this experience to change me for the better, you know, and to be a wake-up call and to be something that helps me help more people. And if I can do this thing, you know, to the best of my ability, then I can make a really big impact because I'm going through this. And so that's the final thing I want to touch on with you guys is like, man, stay positive, but don't just stay stupid positive. You got to think about it. Like how, if I really worked at this and I wanted to have the absolute best outcome possible, what would that look like? Would it mean that I make some new friends at the doctor because of this? Would it mean that I get changed into a more personable person because of this? Does it mean that because I'm going through this pain right now, I get to learn the lesson of how to control the energy that I'm putting out into the universe and the type of person that I am? Because it has been scientifically proven that people who are more negative have a higher risk of disease. Just something to think about. So anyways, I definitely try to be a realist, but I think that your reality can be determined by your thoughts alone in a lot of cases, because your thoughts lead to actions and actions lead to habits, and your habits shape your future. So anyways, this is a long video. I've talked for way too long, but I am going to go ahead and close this out by saying that I honestly feel good. I think that, you know, this treatment that they're giving me, it might be hard to get through at times, but man, it's in me to heal me, you know. I am in this to get healed. I'm in this to get better. And I'm just going to be saying a prayer that, you know, maybe there's a chance that I can limit my side effects of these drugs that they're putting in me. And maybe I can make a few extra people smile because I have cancer instead of the opposite way around. And maybe I can become a better, more purpose-driven person because of this experience. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's so stupid. I'm doing mental gymnastics. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna stop this video now. But yeah, just realize that there are things that are out of your control. Practice on letting those things go. And there are things that are in your control. Practice on getting those under control. So, yeah, I could sit out here and talk for a long time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be making another video soon on my nutrition protocol. I'm gonna make another video soon on my supplementation protocol. And I'm going to make another video soon on my mindset protocol, psychological protocol, whatever you want to call it. And I'm probably going to try to include some other people in those videos just to kind of help me explain some of these things, because I am a bit of a retard. I'm not exactly the brightest at times. I have zero form of formal education, homeschooled, and the only good thing that I have going for me is I know how to read. I'm just kidding. The only good thing I have going for me is that I've got